Good morning. All right, a couple more minutes till we'll start. Thanks so much for joining. So I can sit where I'm a little more light on my face. All right, so if you're watching, feel free to say hello. Welcome to morning yoga. We can just, we're in our homes, we can just bring our mug of coffee. Drinking out of a mug from oh, that's kind of messed up on that side. This is from Recycle Books. This big used bookstore in my hometown. So yeah, we'll get started in a couple minutes. Just grab your mat or maybe just a section of floor. Doesn't even have to be a mat, whatever. We're in our homes. We're making it work. A chair, if you've got one easily available. If not, you don't have to sit in that way, but since we are in our homes, and sometimes sitting in a chair is just for our bodies way more comfortable than sitting on the floor is ever going to be. Yeah, just going to kind of play with that option a little bit this morning and other days as well. All right, 4 people watching. Cool. I don't know if there's any way if I can see the names of these people. Yeah, feel free to say hi in the chat if that's showing up for you. I'm going to say hi in the chat to get the ball rolling. Also, feel free to use the chat if you're having a hard time hearing, seeing me, or anything's disruptive. My dog is about 5 feet away from the computer and he snores pretty loud. So if you can hear that, please let me know so I can get him somewhere else. Most likely he's just going to stay put throughout the whole class. He's not much of a morning dog, which is nice. But yeah, if he gets disruptive or yeah, if you think you might be hearing him a lot and it's distracting, please let me know. Oh, he's getting his little morning scratches on. Hi, Mary Ellen. Oh, thanks so much for tuning in. Are you quarantining in Salt Lake City? Sounds like a nice place to do it. All right, we'll give it maybe a minute or two for anyone else that might want to join in. Until then, we'll just have a little coffee moment. So feel free to grab towel or blanket. This will be kind of similar sequencing, similar pace to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning classes that I've been doing at Fitness SF Oakland. And you don't have such things, block, strap, whatever, feel free to improvise. Oh, good. Glad you're sheltering in place. Glad we are. Thank you, Elaine, for passing on the word. I only had a few people's contact info, so for those of you that I was able to reach, thank you for joining in and for spreading the word. This all happened so fast. This whole shelter in place, gym temporarily closing thing. Who knew when I came back from vacation that that's where we'd be? Anyway, so glad you're here, Mary Ellen, and so glad to see. So we've got 5 people total. That's really great. Feel free to say hello, introduce yourselves, or stay incognito. That's totally up to you. My dog's getting cozy over here. Hi, Wilbur. Hey, buddy. Okay, let me make sure I've got what I need. Make sure my coffee's not going to block your view. Okay. I watch off a bit nearby because, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna have myself a couple blocks, strap blanket, but again, don't worry about it if you don't have these things. We're gonna find a way to make it work because that's the theme of our times right now is making it work. All right, so thanks so much for tuning in. Come to a comfortable seated position, whether that is on your mat, maybe sitting on your blanket, or if you've got yourself a chair, use it. Might as well. This is kind of the nice thing about doing yoga in our homes is there's some new possibilities that opens up. All right, so just kind of find your seat. We're not going to use the chair the whole time. And again, it's just an option right now, those of you who have it. Okay. And feel free to use the YouTube live chat if you're having a hard time hearing me. Please let me know. I can kind of see it from here. It's small, but if something new pops up, I can at least see that. All right, so let your eyes fall closed. Arms in some comfortable position on the body. Soften the space between your eyebrows. Let your jaw be soft. Feel how the shape of your breath space changes as you breathe in and out. And go to the center of your brain. So just imagine for yourself where that point would be. Doesn't need to be accurate. And let your attention rest there. And let your eyes open. All right, so that going to the center of the brain phrase, I feel like I should give credit where credit is due. That's a phrase that one of my favorite teachers, Judith and Lassiter, uses. Really wonderful woman, yogi. If you ever had a chance to read a book of hers, take a workshop from her. She's also got really helpful videos up on YouTube. Yeah, wonderful person to learn from, incredibly knowledgeable. All right, so let's let our eyes open. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, take a twist to your right. So left arm's gonna reach across for the right leg. Good, land anywhere it does to help pull you into the twist. Good. And that right arm is somewhere behind you. Maybe it's on your chair, maybe it's on the floor. So let your pelvis and legs have their weight down. Right lung wrapping back and around, left lung forwards and around. Make sure you can still feel your breath moving in this twisted shape. And unwind your twist. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, twist to your left. Allow the change in shape of your body changes the shape of your twist. Or changes the shape of your breath. That's what I was actually trying to say. Make sure there is space for the breath. And sometimes when twists have gotten really uncomfortable, just coming out like a smidge, just a little less twist. You can still twist, but maybe just slightly less. Can really increase your ease on the dirt. And unwind. Okay, so next we're going to come either onto hands and knees on your mat, or if you've got your chair, you're thinking, can rather stay a little higher up, then you can do cat-cow on your chair. Yeah? All right, so if you've done this before on the mat, you know what that looks like. All right, so the chair is very similar. And you can let your knees be soft here if that kind of lets your spine move more. So we'll breathe in, arch and look up. Breathe out, round. Push the floor away. Good. Alternate between those two shapes at your own deliberate pace. And if you're feeling like you want to stay in one of those shapes for a few breaths, maybe this cow. Been doing a lot of slumping on the couch lately, I'll admit. And so doing this opposite of that, this squeeze into cow, is feeling, well, sort of nice for my body, sort of not nice, but definitely very useful. We'll take a little more time here. Good, you can hold a shape or keep alternating. All right, and then sit back on your heels in child's pose. Or if you're up here on your chair, we are going to do a little bit more with this. So maybe you stay up on your feet, really bend your knees a lot. And you can either slump forwards here, or you can kind of slump onto your chair. You can let your head, your arms, just kind of rest onto the chair here. So kind of do a little chair child's pose. And come on up. All right, so to hands and knees if you were in child's pose. So now we're going to come into our first downward dog of the morning. So you might use your chair. If you do have wall space available, even better, because I can show on my heater. I'm not going to use the wall behind me because then you're just going to see my bum. Good. All right, so nice thing about having a wall is you can really push the arms into the wall and reach your sits bones away from the wall. So legs tight, maybe all the way straight, maybe not. This can be a nice, easier on the wrists, just easier on the body way to do it. You could do this on your chair, okay? So if that's more available to you than the wall, but try and still get this same, like, your arms are pushing into the wall, kind of pushing that wall away, and your sits bones are reaching. All right, so if you're on the floor, just kind of bring your knees back down to the mat. You see, where can I put this? That'll be out of the way. Good, okay. And, all right, so if you're in downward dog on your mat, go ahead and bring your knees on down. Good. All right, so next objective, make your way to standing, some way, somehow. Get the weight onto your feet. Good. So come into a forward fold. Nice. Let the knees be soft, especially if you're feeling this fold. And with an inhale, lengthen the spine forwards. Try and find a half lift. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen, then stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to your hearts. Good. So maybe you have your chair close by, maybe a wall close by, or maybe you've got some blocks up at the front of your mat. So let's do some modified sun salutations. So I'm going to first inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to floor or blocks. Step the left foot way back on your mat. Let that front knee bend a lot. Good. Left hand down on the floor or a block. Good. Reach that right arm forwards. Good. So just keep it reaching forwards to start. Pull that right hip back. Good. Squeeze that back leg all the way straight. Maybe the front knee bends a little more. And then just reach that right arm up to the ceiling. Yeah. Let's take a moment in this twist. Bring that right hand behind your head and press the head gently into your hand into the head. We want this to lengthen, but not tighten up the neck. Let's give it a little more length. And then reach that right arm up again. And you can look up at that right arm, or if that's tough on the neck, just keep the ears in line with the shoulders. We want this twist coming more from our shoulder girdle anyway. We don't want the twist just in the neck. Sometimes I find when I don't do as much twist with my head, I find a little more rotation up with my chest. Good. Let's bring the right hand down. Step the left foot forwards and take the right leg back. Your front knee bends a lot. Right hand down on the floor or a block or block substitute. There's probably all kinds of stuff around your home that could fill in for a yoga block if you don't have one. Reach that left arm forwards. This forward reach of that left arm is going to encourage length in both sides of the waist. That right heel is reaching back like it wants to touch the wall behind you. And then reach the left arm up to the ceiling. And twist. Inner thighs hug into the midline. Imagine the legs have some long, skinny thing between them that they're trying to squeeze. Good. Then bring that left hand behind your head for a moment. Good. Head into hand into head. To lengthen the back of the neck a little more. Good. And to do that, I don't really look up at the ceiling as much. There. And then that arm reaches up. Good. You can look at the hand or keep ears in line with shoulders. Like I said, sometimes kind of not looking at the hand as much, I find it a little more twist up of my rib cage. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Great. Bring the left hand down. Step the right foot forwards. So scooch any props as needed. Inhale, lengthen the spine forwards. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen, then stand all the way up with a big arm circle. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. And you can reach your arms out to the side or forwards, whatever feels nice. I'm kind of close to my wall here because then it allows my whole body to be in the frame. So I'm doing more of a forwards just because I've got that wall there. Okay, so hands to your hips or any decisive place. We're going to stand on our right leg. Pick the left leg up in front. Either fully lift or just lift the heel. Okay. As we often do in class, you've got options. So we're going to step back. Find at least some bend of that back knee. Try not to just keep it straight. Get a little bend if you can. And then up to balance on that right leg. And step the left foot back to lunge. The length, the depth of this lunge is totally up to you. And let's rock back. This is more about getting the brain and body talking to each other. And let's do a couple more. 1, and balance, and 2, and balance, and stay. And bring that left foot into Vrikshasana, your tree pose, whatever height that is against the inside of that standing leg. I'm just going to say yogi's choice with your arms today. And that left knee is pulling back, but without turning your pelvis. So that left inner hip is kind of pushing forwards. And let's reach that left arm up in front, left leg, and reach the arms up. Now step the left foot way back. Good, starting in a lunge, and then lower that back heel down to warrior 1. Good, and your left glute, left buttock is both squeezing in towards your midline. That's helping keep that back knee as turned out as the back foot. Good, and it's also helping suction that pinky edge of the back foot down. And maybe that knee bends a little more. And lift that back heel. Help step the foot forwards. Let the arms come down. Decide where the hands are going. Right leg comes up in front. So you should be on your other side now from what you lunged on before. Either side will do, so long as both sides get worked. All right, so we're stepping back to lunge and up to balance. Back to lunge. Try and get at least a little bend in that back knee. Up to balance. And back to lunge. Up to balance. Back to lunge. Up to balance. And one more, back to lunge. Up to balance and stay. And bring that into your tree pose. So foot to the inner thigh. If that happens, you're still doing yoga, having that foot lower on the leg. And the knee is pressing back, but to counter that, your right inner hip is pressing forwards. right inner thigh is broadening out to the side. Arms are where you've decided to put them. And then let's float that right knee up in front. Reach the arms up. Step that right foot way back. So start on the ball of that back foot and then rotate that heel in towards your midline and down, warrior one. Good. So that right glute, that right buttock is helping turn out that right thigh. Good. Which both keeps the knee aligned and helps keep that back foot fully flat. Maybe the front knee bends a little more. Okay. And then spin the back heel up to push that foot forward, however many steps it takes to get to the front of your mat. All right, I'm going to scoot my block still out to the sides because we're going to come down onto our belly next. So let's inhale, stretch those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And then from your forward fold to downward dog. And as I mentioned, our next objective is to lie down on your belly, whether you want to just walk it down from plank or you want to hold on to that plank as you lower down. And then once you're down on your belly, let's prop up onto our forearms in Sphinx. Outer shoulders roll back and down, the neck floats up. And here in your Sphinx, bend one knee at a time. Just a nice, slow, mindful bend. Bring that heel as close to your seat. And try not to let the hips wibble wobble. Right, and if that's too intense on the back to have that knee bend, just leave it out, keep the legs straight. Or maybe you don't really squeeze the knee in, maybe you just do smaller bends. Let's go one more each side. Good. And lower your chest down. So you can either reach the arms back and turn your head to one side, or in this little rest position, stack your hands and place your forehead on your hands. Okay, next you're going to reach the arms out in front of you. So if you do have a towel, blanket, let me center myself in my frame a little bit more. Something that could go under your forehead here. One, makes it a little easier to breathe. Two, gives you a little more space to lift those arms from. So arms are reaching forwards, your legs are reaching back. Good. Thumbs pointing to the ceiling if you can. Okay, if that's tough on the shoulders, have your palms down instead. We're here.
Okay. All right, so the right arm, left leg, you're going to imagine that they reach, they slide, right arm forwards, left leg back. They reach, they reach, they reach. When they can't get any longer, they float up off the floor and hold. This is a long and low shape. And your left hip bone is staying on the mat as the left thigh lifts. Good. And put those limbs down. Good. And then left hand, right foot, they stay on the mat, but they slide away, slide away, slide away. Then they lift. And bring the limbs down. Good. And
note I should make, my head is staying on my block, or if you're not using a block or anything, we're not lifting our head and our chest right now. It's just the arm and the leg. We're going to do that one more time.
Each side. The right arm reaches forwards, left foot back. They stay on the mat, lengthen, 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 then lift up. And down. And one more time. For the left arm and right leg, they stay on the mat, but they lengthen, 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 then lift. And that right hip bone staying on the mat. Forehead is staying on the mat or on whatever is propping it up. And down. Okay. This time, head, chest are going to lift. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift everything up. Your arms, legs, chest. Arms reaching forwards if you can. If that's yucky on the shoulders, maybe reach them back behind you. Or cactus arms. Let's take 3 more breaths. And lower down. And I think I've got a new chat here. I'm just going to see what that says. Oh, Elaine's just saying hi. Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Elaine. I'm so glad you guys are all here too. Thank you so much for joining it. All right, cool. Just want to make sure there weren't any problems. Okay, our next objective is to get up to standing. Right, so whether you're on your belly or you're in child's pose, pick yourself on up to a tabletop, and from that tabletop to downward dog. So this is one pathway. Feel free to do whatever is working for you. Good. And then get the weight onto your feet. Some way, somehow. Inhale, lengthen the spine forwards. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen the stand all the way up. Exhale. Hands to your heart. Okay. So, water, sit there. All right, so next you're gonna face one of the long edges of your mat. Okay. Right, and take the feet nice and wide. All right, so you could use your yoga block. I'm gonna use my water bottle because that is in fact something I've done in classes where I found myself wishing I had a block, but I didn't. So that's gonna be my prop this morning. Okay, so you're gonna turn your right foot out all the way and left foot in a little bit. Good, if that's okay on the ankle. All right, if not, let it be, turned out a little more. All right, and take your prop to the outside of that right foot, or don't worry about it. If you don't have a prop, good, you'll use your leg. All right, so setting up for triangle pose first. Good, the quads are zipping those kneecaps up. Your hips glide to the left. Your torso goes to the right. Your right hand lands where it does. Maybe it's on your right leg. Maybe it's on your prop. And you're either looking up at that left arm or ears are in line with the shoulders. And the left outer hip is reaching back away from the left ribs. And bend the right knee. Come on up to warrior two. Soft gaze over the right middle finger. Good. Make sure that right knee is not buckling in towards the big toe. Sometimes when we don't have a mirror, we do need to actually kind of look down at our leg for a sec and check. Nothing wrong with that. And then flip the right palm up and reverse your warrior, taking a side bend to your left. And keep the body and the side bend straight in the right leg. And bend it again, maybe a little deeper this time. And now keep that right knee bent as we come over to side angle pose. So that might be forearm on the thigh. Your right hand might be reaching down for your prop or for your right ankle. Either way, make sure that breath comes with you. Left outer hip is energizing down to the pinky edge of the left foot. And inhale to come up. Own that warrior two for a moment. Then let's switch over to the other side. Okay, so bring that prop with you if you're using one. The right toes turn in a little bit, left toes out all the way. So first setting up for our triangle. Quad zip the kneecaps up. Good, hips glide to your right. Upper body goes left when it cannot reach left anymore. Left hand comes down where it does. Right arm stacks over it as if they are one long bone. Good, stay firm on those upper leg muscles, especially your quads, that group of muscles in the front. Try and feel like they are continuously hugging the bone. Good. Right outer hip is stretching away from the right ribs, left armpit reaching forwards, away from the left hip crease. And bend the left knee, warrior two. And check that that left knee is not buckling in towards the big toe. Feel that shin bone rooting right down into the center of the heel. Or center of the front of the heel, might be more it feels like. Flip the left palm, reverse your warrior, taking a side bend to your left. Keep the side bend straight in the left leg. Then bend it again, maybe a little more this time. Lean over to your left, side angle pose. So you have your elbow on the thigh, or maybe that left hand is reaching down lower. Right outer hip energizing down to the pinky edge of the right foot. Inhale, come up to warrior two. And straighten the left leg. Come back to center. All right, so now we're going to do half moon, Ardha Chandrasana on each side. I'm going to bring my prop around. Water bottle's a little trickier. I can't really lean on it as much. So that's a great challenge. If you do have wall space available to you to put a hand on, ideally like hand out in front of you if you're doing it that way, feel free to use your wall. Good. Or in my case, I have, all this wall behind me, so I could kind of work, with my body like really leaning against the wall. Yeah. All right, so set up to warrior two on your right side. I'm gonna make sure I've got room to step. Left hand to the left hip. Okay, so I'm gonna talk through this as if you're, just kind of using the wall and maybe a prop. Okay, but if you are using, wall, chair, what have you, you know what to do. You know how to make that work for you. Step that left foot in a little bit and the right foot out. You're gonna balance on that right leg. So try to make a 90 degrees. Sometimes it's a little more kind of open shape with your legs. Left hand can stay on the hip or reach up and the arms stack as if they're one long bone. That might pop a little too far forwards. There we go. And that right quad is zipping that kneecap up. I don't necessarily mean that that standing leg is straight. Okay, so it might have a little bend, okay, but those quad muscles are still firm, even if that knee's bent. Let's take one more breath here. Good. And you can either bring the prop with you or just leave it on the floor for a moment. Boom. Land back in that warrior two. All right, and let's switch sides. Okay, so left foot turns out. The right turns in. Right hand to the right hip, so we start leaning forwards. Good. We step the right foot in. Reach the left. Hand out to our wall, our chair, our prop. Into Ardha Chandrasana, or half moon. The right hand can stay on the hip or stretch up. One more big breath here. And bring that back to warrior two. All right, and then let's face forwards, or, the forwards that the toes are facing. All right, we're gonna come into a forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. So maybe you're bringing your hands down to a block. First, hands on your hips. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, first stay long as you hinge, long as you hinge. Then maybe you stay long or you let the spine round forwards. Let's take I'd say like 5 more breaths here. Again, I'm just gonna kind of check in. Oh dear, sorry to hear your videos freezing up. I hope that resolves itself, Mary Ellen. Hi Sharon, I saw your hello there. All right, let's bring hands to the fronts of the thighs, straighten the arms to lengthen the spine, and then stand all the way up. Good, and then we'll walk those feet back in and come on up to the front of your mat. And then let's try and check. I'm gonna make this the front of my mat now. Okay, so little space between the feet, or however you like to do your chair sit, Utkatasana. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bend your knees. Chair sit, letting the hips drop down and back. Back of the pelvis is heavy. Shoulders are heavy. Face is soft. And stand on up. Reach up. Exhale. Hands to your heart. All right, so take your feet about as wide as your mat. and toes slightly turned out. Good. So we're gonna come into a wide yogi squat, lowering down as much as you can. So you might bring your chair back in for this. Okay, so if that's, if that's a tough place for you, make use of that chair or make use of maybe a couch cushion or something. Maybe you, so, to explore, these new options that our home practice gives us. Maybe you have your back kind of against a wall, and you kind of, or here. Yeah. So just options to play with. All right, so your next destination is lying down on your belly. However you would like to make that happen. And arms reach back along your side. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift everything up into locust pose. So you're only working the back of the neck as much as you need to for your head to be lifted along with your chest. And reach back through the fingers, through the toes a little more. And lower down. So you can either pillow the hands, rest your forehead bare, or turn your head to one side. Okay. And recenter your head for either another locust pose. Okay. You're still doing yoga. If you do that again, or you might bend both knees. Can you get a foot in each hand? Okay. And just grabbing your feet and holding into the stretch here, that might be plenty. Okay. So maybe you just stay here. Okay. Especially because, maybe our back hasn't been in a lot of back bending, arching shapes lately because we've been home a lot. So maybe this is enough right here. Okay? Or you're coming into bow pose. So you float those shoulders, those toes up. And find where the breath can go. One more breath here. Maybe get a little higher, a little lighter. And lower down. And if you turned your head to one side before, turn it to the other. Let go of the feet. You might take a little wibble wobble of your hips side to side, or bend the knees and let them swish side to side. Recenter your head, then push back to child's pose. All right, next we're going to come to sitting and set up for a seated twist. So you might sit on a towel or blanket. A couch cushion could also work really well here. Okay, let me just see if I've got any. Oh, Mary Ellen's back. Yay. So let's see what the chat was saying. If there's anything I could help with. Yay. Yeah. Technology, internet, they are fallible things. All right, so bend your right knee. Take your left foot either just behind that right heel, or you can fully cross them. Okay, if that doesn't change much in how much you've got each sits bone down, feel free to twist from there. Okay. All right, so whichever shape you are choosing with your legs, let's take that right arm, circle it forwards, up and down to the floor behind, or maybe onto your prop, your cushion if you're sitting on something. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist to your right. All right. And then unwind, take a counter twist to your left. So you can either stay up nice and tall here, or sometimes I like to just kind of let my forehead drop down towards that left hip. And I haven't switched my legs yet. We're going to do that in a moment. And come up. And face forwards. And let's switch the legs. So, ankle behind the heel, or they cross all the way. Left arm circles forwards. Up, bend down. The kicks down behind you. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist. Come back to your left. Make sure there is space for the breath, no matter how deep you twist. And unwind your twists. Face forwards. Stretch the right leg, your right leg forwards, and left knee bent to the side. So if you do have a towel, strap, shirt, what have you, available to you to help this forward fold, feel free to use it. Either way, you're going to first inhale, lengthen up, exhale, and fold forwards. And inhale to come up. And switch out the legs. The left goes forwards and right bends out to the side. Okay. Set up that prop if you're using one. Inhale to stretch up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale to lift up out of that fold. Good. Okay. Next, we're going to lie down on our backs. So, if you do have a block or some sort of block substitute handy and you think you might want to do a supported bridge, okay, you can have a block nearby. Okay, so let's set up for our bridge pose. Good. So feet flat, knees bent. So I'm going to do 2 bridges. First one is going to be an active held bridge. So arms press into the floor. Before we lift up our hips, go ahead and kind of try and walk those shoulders more underneath you. So you're starting to feel this puffing up of your chest, the space between your shoulder blades lifting off the floor. Okay? And then lift your hips. Sometimes we do it the other way around. The front of the throat is soft. Glutes pressing up into the backs of the thighs. And gently come on down. All right, we're going to do a twist in between our 2 bridges. So hips take a little scoot to your left. Your knees drop over to the right. So the knees can stay further down or they can slide up more towards that right shoulder. Your head and chest turn to your left. And unwind out of your twist. And your hips take a little scoot to your right. Legs drop over to the left. Good. If you want, they can slide up more towards that left shoulder on the floor. And head and chest turn to your right. And unwind out of that twist. Recenter the hips with the shoulders. And we're going to do one more bridge. If you have the means and interest in making this a supported bridge, feel free to put your block or maybe a cushion or something underneath your hips. Come on down when you're ready. This time, once your hips are down, you're just going to step your feet a little wider apart from each other and bring the knees together to touch. Okay, separate your knees. You're going to come into a figure four. So that's where we hook the right ankle on the left thigh. That might be enough of a hip stretch right there. You might not need to go anywhere else from here. Or you can lift the legs up and pull that shape in towards you. So you're kind of pulling the left thigh towards you as the right knee pushes back away from that right shoulder. All right, and switch sides. So let the legs go. They switch. As you pull the right thigh towards you, the left knee is pushing itself away. Okay, and let that go. Let the knees into your chest. Lift your head for a moment. Try and touch your forehead to your knees. Get as close as you can. And let that go. And stretch out into your Shavasana. Feel free to add layers or props to your Shavasana in any way that works for you. I'm going to turn my big light out here. You also have a means of making your space darker right now, or putting a towel or something gently over your eyes. Feel free to use that. We'll settle in for our final resting pose before we do our closing pose. And back to your breath. Little wiggle of your fingers and toes. Maybe let your head nod side to side. Just rolling side to side on your mat. Stretch the arms up overhead. Bend your knees, roll over on to one side. And from your side, use both hands to push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Right up on your prop, or maybe you come back to your chair. Bring the palms together at your heart. Let's close our practice by chanting one Om all together. First, exhale fully. And take a deep inhale. Thank you all very much for joining this morning. Or if it's after the fact, thank you for checking out this video afterwards. We have gone a little over my target time. I did. You got those right. Oh, good, Mary Ellen, good. All right, thanks everyone for joining, and thank you for sharing and letting people know. Yeah. So if you are able, donation info is, thank you, Sharon. Donation info is in the description for this video. If you're able to, great. If not, still great. So happy you joined in. I know I'm not the only one losing income in this crazy time. So thank you for getting on your mat with us today. Anything else I want to say? Also, my email is in the description. If you would like to be on the email list to hear about future videos, this will be happening at 8 a.m. Live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but the videos will stay up. You can also subscribe. I think you'll just automatically get notifications when videos are coming up. Yeah, feel free to reach out with any questions. If there are any technical issues, like it was hard to see or hear me at some point, please let me know. That's good for me to know how it's coming across on your end. Yeah, hope you have a great day. Get outside a little bit, stay healthy. Give thanks to your breath. Yeah, let's all take care of ourselves and each other. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Namaste. All right, going to end. It's so hard to say goodbye. So hard to say goodbye. Thank you.